You know that feeling, right? That little stomach drop when the lights flicker, maybe during a storm. And your first thought is, oh no, the TV. Or your computer, your whole home office setup. That, split second of worry that a power surge might just fry something critical? Well, you're definitely not alone. And there's this huge, growing industry out there dedicated to stopping exactly that from happening. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the global surge protectors market. We've been digging into the Global Surge Protectors Market Report 2025-2033, and there's some really compelling numbers and, stories in there. Our mission today isn't just to rattle off figures, though. We want to really get a feel for this market. Where is it booming? Which places are seeing the absolute fastest growth? And what does all this tell us about how much we rely on solid electrical protection these days? It's kind of fundamental, isn't it? We'll even touch on the different types of protection driving these numbers. It's more than just those power strips you plug your PC into. And just to give you a quick idea of the scale here, this market is big. It's really big and basically doubling. Back in 2021, it pulled in about $1,674 million in sales, give or take.
A substantial base.
Exactly. And fast forward to 2033, it's projected to hit nearly $3.3 billion. That's billion with a B.
Wow.
Right. Growing at a global compound annual growth rate that's the CAGR of 5.8%.
That's very consistent, solid expansion.
So, okay, let's dive right in. What does this steady climb, this, significant rise in demand for surge protection really tell us? What's happening underneath all that in our homes, our industries, the whole global economy?
That's a great question to start with because, look, this isn't just about folks buying more surge strips for their laptops. This consistent growth, it really signifies our deeper, almost invisible dependency on sensitive electronics everywhere.
Right.
Think about it. Smart homes, factory control systems, complex medical gear, those massive data centers powering everything online.
All of them.
Exactly. All of it needs stable, clean power. And a surge, whether it's lightning, a grid issue, even something happening inside a building, like a big motor kicking on it, can be catastrophic.
Yeah.
We're talking downtime, lost data, huge costs. So this market growth directly mirrors that critical need to shield the tech. And it's not just at the device level anymore, but increasingly, protecting the entire building, the whole system.
That difference, device versus system level, that seems really key.
It is.
It's not just about my TV, it's about the backbone of how things run now.
Absolutely. Modern infrastructure.
It makes total sense as everything gets more digital. Okay, so let's zoom in. Where is this growth really taking off? Let's start with North America, usually a leader in tech adoption, right? And the report definitely confirms that. North America is dominant. Over $700 million back in 2021.
$708 million, yeah.
And projected to hit over $1.35 billion by 2033. The regional CAGR is strong too, about 5.6%. Now, the U.S. is the giant here, no surprise. But what's interesting is that while the U.S. has the biggest slice of the pie in dollar terms, Canada and Mexico, they're actually projected to grow faster.
Right.
Canada at 6.3% CAGR and Mexico even higher, almost 7%.
7.9%, yeah.
So what's driving that?
Yeah.
Why the faster pace in Canada and Mexico when the U.S. market is so huge?
That's a really sharp observation. It points different stages, sort of, market maturity. The U.S., it's massive, it's established, a lot of the infrastructure already has some protection. So growth there is often about upgrades, replacements.
Okay, replacing old stuff.
Exactly. But Canada, and especially Mexico, they're often in a more rapid phase of new development. Think new industrial parks, modern commercial buildings, expanding residential areas being built now.
From the ground up.
Right. And these new builds, they're much more likely to integrate the latest electrical protection standards, those industrial-grade SPDs, surge protective devices from the get-go.
So they're baking it in from the start.
Precisely. So for you, the listener, this shows where the big investments in modern protected electrical systems are really happening in North America. It's not just catch-up. It's installing the latest tech right away.
That new build versus upgrade distinction makes a lot of sense, really clarifies those different growth rates. Okay, so sticking with established markets, but with interesting shifts. Let's hop across the Atlantic. Europe's market. Let's see. Generated about $430 million in 2021.
$430.3 million.
Projected to get to around $817 million by 2033. Solid KGR there too, about 5.4%. And you see good, steady contributions from the big players, Germany, the UK, both growing nicely.
Yeah, Germany heading over $200 million, UK over $150 million by 2033. Healthy growth.
But the thing that really jumped out at us from the report was
Yeah.
this rest of Europe category.
Ah, yes, that's interesting.
Right, this group, it's a mix of smaller economies, maybe some still developing faster.
Right.
It showed the highest TGR in all of Europe, a really strong 7.7, almost 7.8%.
7.756%. That is significant.
Yeah, nearly doubling from about $23 million to almost $50 million. And then on the flip side, Switzerland, lowest AGR, under 4%.
3.877%. Quite the contrast.
So what's the story there? What does that contrast tell us?
Well, if you connect it to that bigger picture, that maturity idea,
Okay.
that rapid growth in rest of Europe, it strongly suggests that emerging markets, or maybe just less saturated markets within Europe, are really accelerating now. Maybe they're undergoing big modernization pushes, updating old grids, building new industries. There's just more room for that foundational new installation growth.
Right, more greenfield opportunities maybe.
Exactly. Whereas a country like Switzerland, highly developed, mature infrastructure. A lot of its buildings probably already have good protection, so its growth is more incremental. Upgrades, replacements in a market that's already pretty well covered.
Got it.
It really shows how different economic stages, even on the same continent, drive very different demand for things like SPDs.
That really hammers home that point about market maturity. Okay, now, if we're talking about real, like, full throttle acceleration, we absolutely have to shift focus to the region that's just reshaping the whole global picture, Asia-Pacific. This is where things get really dynamic, isn't it? Asia-Pacific is just a powerhouse.
Absolutely.
Sales revenue projected to basically double again, from around $336 million in 2021
$336.5 million, yeah.
to nearly $709 million by 2033. And look at that CAGR, 6.288%.
Noticeably higher than North America and Europe.
Definitely. So what is it about Asia-Pacific? What's making it such a powerful engine for surge protectors?
Well, what's really fascinating is that it's not just general economic growth, though. That's part of it. It's the kind of development happening there. We're talking breakneck urbanization, huge industrialization efforts, and just an explosion in digital connectivity across enormous populations.
Right, the scale is immense.
Immense. You look at China, a huge contributor, obviously. They're building entire smart cities, massive industrial zones. And these aren't just needing protection from our devices. They're deploying highly sensitive, absolutely critical systems, advanced manufacturing, data centers, 5G networks. These things cannot handle power issues.
Zero tolerance for failure there.
Exactly. So that drives demand for the really advanced industrial-grade SPDs integrated solutions. India, too, look at that growth, nearly $80 million projected, over 7% CAGR, driven by a growing middle class, expanding tech sector, and then Taiwan, highest TGR in the whole region, nearly 8%.
Wow, 7.864%.
Yeah. So you add in Japan, South Korea, Australia, Southeast Asia, which also has a really strong CAGR.
Over 7% for SE Asia too, right?
Right, 7.189%. It paints this incredibly clear picture. As these economies embed cutting-edge tech into everything, the need for top-tier surge protection just becomes non-negotiable. It's driving innovation and growth globally.
The numbers really tell a story of just incredible development and deep tech integration. Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Another continent, different pace, but still significant growth, South America. So South America. The snapshot shows about $85 million in 2021.
$85.4 million, roughly.
Expected to grow to around $148 million by 2033. The CAGR there is more moderate, 4.4%.
What a 0.409%, yeah.
Steady. Brazil and Argentina are the main players. Brazil going from about $37 million to near $66 million. And Argentina, smaller base, but slightly faster growth, actually, around 5% CAGR.
5.005% for Argentina, that's right.
So compared to Asia-Pacific's fireworks, this feels more like a steady climb.
I think that's a good way to put it. It's consistent. It's not that sudden boom, maybe, but it suggests this ongoing foundational development. It reflects perhaps a slightly slower but still definite pace of modernization, industrialization, where adopting better electrical systems, including surge protection, is happening incrementally.
Building block by building block.
Kind of. It's vital for supporting what's already there and the new projects coming online. That consistency is really key for long-term stability in these developing economies.
That makes sense, a gradual strengthening of the baseline protection. Okay, now let's pivot to a region showing some, well, pretty significant acceleration, maybe driven by those huge infrastructure projects we hear about. The Middle East. Middle East market recorded about $75 million in 2021.
$75.3 million.
They're projected to more than double over $159 million by 2033. That's a strong CAGR, over 6.3%.
6.376%.
Yeah.
Very healthy.
And the report flags the UAE with strong growth, over 7% CAGR.
7.056%.
But again, it's this rest of Middle East category that's really eye-popping. Fastest in the region, almost 9% CAGR.
8.996%. That's huge.
So what's going on there? What's fueling that kind of demand, especially in the rest of Middle East?
That does raise an interesting question. This region is known for these incredibly ambitious projects, right?
Absolutely. Smart cities, massive tourism developments.
Exactly. And huge efforts to diversify economies away from just oil. Think about NEOMEM in Saudi Arabia, the continuous expansion in the UAE. These projects demand absolutely cutting-edge electrical infrastructure. And that means top-of-the-line industrial strength surge protection is baked in from the design phase.
It has to be.
It has to be. And that super high growth in the rest of the Middle East, it suggests that this push for modernization isn't just limited to the biggest players. It indicates a really broad-based drive for tech advancement across the wider region. It's a clear signal. Rapid development is creating massive new needs for comprehensive, high-spec electrical protection.
The scale of ambition there definitely requires serious protection.
Okay, and that brings us to our final region, and honestly, the uncontested growth champion in this whole report, Africa. Africa is just exploding in this sector. It's outpacing every other region on the planet.
It's quite remarkable.
Revenue is expected to surge from about $38.5 million in 2021
A relatively smaller base, yes.
to over $107 million by 2033, and that's CAGR, an astonishing 10.165%, globally the highest. Double digits. It really stands out.
So what's behind this incredible acceleration? What does it tell us about development across the continent?
Africa's double-digit growth. It's probably one of the most exciting trends in the whole report, really tells a story. It's reflecting several huge shifts happening all at once.
Like what?
Well, dramatically better access to electricity in places that didn't have it before.
Right.
Rapid digital transformation, mostly powered by mobile tech leapfrogging older systems. And growing industrial needs as economies diversify.
Okay.
You see countries like South Africa, strongest CAGR in Africa, nearly 11%, going from $17 million to over $52 million.
Wow, 10.924%.
And Nigeria, also huge, over 10.7% CAGR, heading towards $45 million.
10.765%. Incredible numbers.
They are. And this isn't just about protecting, a few TVs. It's safeguarding brand new power grids, growing tech hubs, modern factories, the huge expansion of mobile networks.
Critical infrastructure.
Absolutely critical infrastructure. This phenomenal growth signals a continent truly on the move, rapidly developing, embracing technology, and building the resilient foundations needed to support it all. That demands robust protection, new and existing systems on a massive scale.
What an amazing picture of global change and this fundamental need for protection that sits underneath it all. Okay, let's try and pull this all together for everyone listening.
Yeah, the key takeaways seem pretty clear. The global surge protector market, it's seeing strong, consistent growth everywhere, no question. But while the established markets, North America, Europe, they provide that solid base.
No foundation.
Right. The real engines of acceleration right now are Africa and Asia Pacific. They're leading the pack in terms of that CAGR, that growth rate. And remember, it's not just about more devices needing protection. It's about more critical devices, entire systems needing much more sophisticated layered protection.
Yeah, this whole report really underscores how much we rely on these advanced surge protection systems all over the world. As our lives get more connected, everything's powered by sensitive electronics. Our infrastructure is more digital, more complex, shielding it all from unpredictable electricity. It's not just nice to have anymore, is it?
Not at all. It's absolutely fundamental for keeping things running, for safety, for resilience. So, thinking about that, as we keep connecting everything, building these complex digital networks globally, what do these surging numbers, these billions being spent on surge protection, what do they really tell us about the maybe hidden vulnerabilities of our modern world? And about our collective scramble to safeguard it? How much more do we need to invest, not just in the shiny tech, but in these unseen protective layers, just to keep the lights on safely? What stands out to you about that future, where robust electrical defense isn't just an add-on, but completely essential?
Something definitely to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the global surge protectors market. Really fascinating stuff. Until next time, stay curious and, keep those devices and maybe your peace of mind well protected.